Where was the first Thanksgiving? A generation fails history class because of the day tripper.
Excuse me, miss. Actually, it was in Texas.
And I don't believe any of the stuff you're telling me about the pyramids anymore. They were clearly made by sound. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Day Tripper Podcast Land. We're here in the studio. My man Daniel sitting over here.
Whoa.
And we got Alex mixing it up over on the wiki turntables. And it's November, and we're talking some Texas. So thanks for tuning in and listening with us. Remember, like, subscribe, do all the stuff so that we can help this podcast grow. Most of y'all are watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
We thought, podcasts are changing these days.
Yeah, they're a little bit more cast, a little less pod.
I think that's right. Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
What was the pod? What's the pod and podcast anyway? Like, what does that actually mean? Like a small, compact pod of something? Like a Tide Pod of casty goodness? Anyway,
don't eat the.
We don't need to waste time
pods.
talking about that. Yeah, don't eat those. All right, I'm going to start off. It's November. We're in the midst of fall. I'm going to kick this off with an unpopular opinion. Fried turkey is terrible.
Chet.
Is that
a horrible thing to say?
No. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Like, it is not horrible, but when you compare it to a well-smoked turkey or a well-baked turkey, fried is by far the worst preparation of turkey.
I should have read everything you have planned for this podcast because I am not prepared for this conversation.
Offended? Are you offended with that?
You've never had a really good fried turkey?
I have. And it's often, like, it can be juicy, but often not. Often it's like,
if you don't know what you're doing, then it'll be dry.
Well, go talk to the Garner uncles because they practically burn down the shed every year, and the turkey's like,
You got to keep the turkey in salt water for at least a day.
Oh, no. See, this
overnight in the fridge. It's got to soak in that salty goodness. It's got to stay moist. Some people inject it before you do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It needs to be very moist before you get it into the oil.
But it's always, and I've had fried turkey 100 times. It's always a little chewier than smoked turkey.
I can say that I've had smoked turkey that I thought was dry.
That's true. You can mess up a smoked turkey. But even at its best, fried turkey is worse than a decently smoked turkey. I'm gonna say it. And you know what's better than both of them?
What?
Ham.
I don't like you now.
Dude, I will go. Give me a glaze, like here the Thanksgiving buffet. Give me that glazed ham all day.
Alex, cut him off. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Alex is giving me the thumbs down. He's on, yeah. Alex is with me.
How am I all alone here?
Dude, you go over there and munch on your weird, chewy, dried out, kind of funky turkey. There was a hazard that almost burned down the neighborhood to make something that's like barely edible. Come on. All right, so I started looking at turkey traditions, and I went down the rabbit hole. I found 2 turkey traditions that need to exist in Texas, and they don't. Have you ever heard of turkey bowling? This is great. So it was started by a grocery store in Newport Beach. You take a frozen turkey, and they did it down their shopping lanes. So I don't think you can do this without permission at HEB, but like that you wouldn't go viral, go bowling without permission. But they set up like 2-liter soda bottles, and you sling a frozen turkey down an aisle, and you bowl with it. I'm like, I need to try this. Turkey bowling. It sounded fun.
To see it.
And now there's a lot of people who do it with actual bowling pins, but that's kind of like the upgraded version. You got to go with just the 2-liter sodas. And then another thing, the turkey toss.
Turkey toss.
Fully frozen turkey, which is essentially a cannonball.
I mean, they weigh like, what, 10 to 15 pounds?
Yeah, about. I mean, you could probably get some bigger ones than that. And so you get one dude, these are all football players, you throw it as far as you can, like backwards, like a Scottish hammer toss.
Oh my gosh.
That's the easy part. The hard part is there's a dude on the other end who has to catch this thing out of the sky.
It's so awkward, and it's frozen.
Oh,
it's
dude.
Cold, it's wet.
It's a 15-pound hunk of steel falling out of the sky, and you got to catch it.
And the higher it goes, the more you're like, oh no.
But no catch, no points. So
yeah,
We need to up our turkey game.
I'll throw it if you want to catch it.
Yeah, that's some paper, rock, scissors for who is on the bad end of that. Somebody is the punishment. All right, you're the catcher.
Mm-hmm.
You make whoever the family hates the most, you make him go catch it at the event. All right, it is November. I wanted to kick this off with some turkey, but we got to thank our sponsor right up here. Usually we thank them at the front, but I wanted to get into this because Don Hewlett Chevrolet not only sponsors this podcast, but it's the season of giving. We're heading into November, December, and they're my dealership, not just for the inventory, the pricing, the service, all of that, which they knock out of the park, but listen to all the ways they give back. This past month, they donated, not just the dealership, but all the employees rallied together to help all the dealerships. It was dealers helping dealers, other dealerships in North Carolina and over there on the East Coast who were affected by Hurricane Helene, which did so much damage. So they helped that out. You cannot go to a charity gala in Georgetown without seeing their name as the presenting sponsor. They do the Helping Hands Home for Children luncheon in Austin, which is it's a foster home, which used to be an orphanage. It's been in Austin for over 100 years. It's 120. It goes back to the early 1900s, late 1800s. Yep, they help with that. They've been sponsoring the Field of Honor.
Yep,
the thing with all the flags. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't been to Georgetown in November when they set up the flags, there's hundreds of American flags that you get to run through, and they call it the Field of Honor. It's really awesome. And Isaiah 117 House, which is a house that helps kids who are taken out of homes and into the foster system, all kinds of stuff. And this is fun. This year, they announced they're giving a car away for free to a GHS student. What? Yeah. They've got a Hewlett Volkswagen, and they've got a contest going on at the high school, Eastview and Georgetown High, and the Richard, the technical high school. You got to have a certain GPA. You can't have skipped school, and someone's getting a car. Just
holy cow!
There you go.
That's awesome.
Isn't that,
can I go back to high school?
No kidding. And they're making it you got to show up. It's got to be a senior.
Okay.
And so you can't have more than a certain number of absences. So that way, if you're trying to blow off your senior year, you're out. You're out, dude.
Wow.
Free car?
That's amazing.
Come on. So y'all go learn more at donhewlett.com. And thank you so much to them for supporting this and all the work they do in the community. All right, dude. So what you been up to, Daniel? Fill the people in.
Well, I had all kinds of stories planned. Lots of things been going on. And then last night I almost died, Chet.
Shut up. No, you didn't.
I literally almost died.
What happened?
There's no way to put this, gently. I started choking.
On food?
Well, you would think, right?
Yeah.
No, I've obviously been sick lately.
Yeah. You had the
I had a violent coughing
smoker's violent cough last time.
Yeah, I mean that was a month ago. I can't believe it. I've still got junk going on. But
dude,
yeah, I was just sitting there, and we were about to eat dinner, and then all of a sudden I start doing this random thing where I'm trying to gasp for air, and I'm making this awkward noise, and my kids don't know to laugh or to
what's dad doing?
Yeah, what's dad doing? What's going on here? I'm trying to gasp for air. It was everybody assumes, well, I can hold my breath for a while, so if I ever choked, I'm good. But you never think about the fact that it's boom, you can't breathe right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just oh, snap. And so I get up and I run to the bathroom. I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm basically watching myself die.
No.
My face is going red. I start to see stars everywhere. Black tunnel vision starts coming in. I'm like, this is it. I'm going.
Oh, gosh, Daniel, that's scary, man.
So I think what it was is I just, again, sinus infection. I've got a lot of junk going on right now. And it probably was just going down.
Somehow it got
my throat just kind of closed up.
It wasn't like you were eating a chicken nugget.
I didn't know. There was nothing stuck in my throat.
It was something else.
It was literally just all of a sudden I couldn't breathe.
That's terrifying.
It was horrible.
It
was one of the weirdest, worst experiences.
And you actually got to the point where it's going dark.
Yeah, I could see
and
everything.
In the end,
yes.
Oh my gosh,
just like
dude.
that.
I'm glad you're still with us.
I am
that
too.
Was scary, dude. Oh man! So like
was
eventually
crazy.
your lungs open back up and like you get a deep
it wasn't
breath,
like
or-
all at once. It was just like very slowly. I was able to breathe a tiny bit more. Horrible.
Did you call like you call 911? I wouldn't even know what to do.
Well, at the time, I was just trying to breathe.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
do
you're
anything. And Jordan was on the complete opposite side of the house. And so she didn't hear what was going on.
Man.
And I think the door was closed when I ran to the bathroom. So, like, nobody knew what was happening. Yeah.
Shoot.
Horrible.
Daniel,
I
that's
thought this
scary,
was it.
man.
And all I could think was, I'm not going to make the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, right.
It was not fun.
You should like, man. I'm so glad you're still with us. Praise God, you're still here,
Yes.
Daniel. Because that's scary.
It was
like I wouldn't even know what to do. Heimlich or a self tracheotomy. Did you think about like I got to get a pin through my throat?
I didn't think about that.
I would.
Maybe I should have thought about that. I need to walk around with like some sort of pin that I could stab
Dude,
myself with.
we have no resources here at the office if it happens again.
This is true.
I'm gonna have to
This is
get
true.
a ballpoint pen, suck it out, jam it in your throat.
I could see myself eating tacos in here, and I have like a mild cough, and you're running around.
I
With a
know.
pin.
With
No,
here comes the ballpoint pen.
Don't do it, Jen.
Ha! Dude.
Yeah, like it was so bad. My face obviously turned red, but now I've got little red dots all around my eyes from where it was just so strained. Like I had blood vessels and stuff that popped.
Oh man, that's scary.
Never had this happen before.
I've never had anything like that happen.
So
At
bad.
all.
So bad. So yeah, I just kept thinking, I got to tell the audience, tell you. Because that's
As
what
soon
everybody
as
wants
I
to
lived,
know.
I was
Clearly.
like, I am going to make the podcast, and I've got a great story for it. Man,
Yeah.
like you defied death. You looked it in the eyes and said, "Not today."
Yeah. I looked it in the eyes and I said,
Oh man, that is. I've been making a joke about it, but like that's scary.
It
That's
was very scary.
Go see a doctor. We don't need that happening again.
I do. I need to go see a doctor. It's been a minute.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have any near-death experiences.
Not this time?
Not this time.
Well, that's probably
but the
good.
craziest thing that happened to the whole crew. So at the beginning of October, we not the day tripper crew, different crew. So the beginning of October, I worked ACL Fest and I was the host for the Hulu live stream, the co-host.
Yeah.
And
Which you did a great job, by the way.
well, hey, thank you. It was fun. So basically, we sit on a set, and most of the live stream is live music that's live streaming, and then we get artists to come to the set, and we banter with them. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Most of them I don't know because
Well,
I'm
you saw
old.
Teddy Swims.
Yeah, I got to hang with
you were
Teddy
talking
Swims.
with
He's a
him
very
for a
nice
while.
guy. A guy who I didn't know until afterwards, and everyone's freaking out. That Mexican OT.
Yes.
Do you know this guy?
I didn't until you had talked about him. Looked him
man.
up, though, like he's well known.
Well known.
Yeah.
Well known. So I did the interview and then got
Dua
text
Lipa.
from my little... Dua Lipa, she's a little more famous than the Hulu set. not that we're doing bad, but like... Those headliners are like, oh, great, cute publicity. They don't need publicity.
They don't need anything.
They don't need anything extra. But did you notice Dua Lipa on social media is like doing the Austin tour?
Yes.
Like, I think maybe she stuck around all week and went and ate barbecue.
A lot of people saw her just random places.
Ate
so.
barbecue. She took pictures of herself with barbecue.
Probably.
How much barbecue do you think someone like Dua Lipa actually eats? She goes to Terry Black's, gets a $150 platter, all the meats.
Takes a picture of it, maybe picks up a little, licks it, or little tiny nibble. I'm full. Yeah, I don't. You can't be tiny and eat like we eat.
No.
Although you're not the biggest guy, but you have to work.
I gotta work out a whole
to keep
lot.
that off.
And I still got the dad bod. That just shows you how much it is. Like, so I think, she just nibbles. Oh, I'm so full. Texas barbecue is so filling. You ate the cheese, one morsel of cheese and a cheese jalapeno sausage. So anyway, but I was proud of her.
Sorry.
She didn't like stay in the trailer. Like she got out and about. She went to Ski Shores, Terry Black's, a whole bunch of other stuff. And I don't follow her, but I follow a bunch of people, and they were all posting, Dua Lipa's in the house. Dua Lipa. And then, speaking of celebrities in Austin and Georgetown, Gordon Ramsay's been on the square.
Yes.
He came that like right
throwing
over
a
here.
football from here.
So
We could hit
he
him.
resurrected Kitchen Nightmares, and he evidently went in and screamed at our good friends at Grumpy George. Yes. I was like, I got to hear this whole story. And they were like, oh gosh, he's still living in my dreams. And I texted them back. I was like, just remember, Gordon Ramsay can't hurt you anymore. He's gone now. And they were they were like, yeah,
he's going to randomly show up.
Physically, he's gone. But I mean, I can only imagine. Like, that's how he made his name, just laying into people.
And it's been like a decade that it's been off.
I think that's right.
And they're bringing it back.
So I found out today he's on the other side of town doing a second restaurant in Georgetown.
Are you serious?
Yep. Simmer Down.
What?
Simmer Down, which is kind of a country home style place on the west side. Man. The whole crew is there. They got cranes, they got trucks. There's 100 cars in the parking lot. Crazy. And then I look at our show. We got like, one and a half cars of people,
We have to ask for that half car too.
I know,
we do. It's a tough one to get sometimes.
It is. Oh man, different levels. But that wasn't any reason I was telling you this. The craziest thing happened is ACL Fest. The Hulu set's been locked down for the night. We've got $100,000 in cameras there, and we all go see Chris Stapleton, only to get called back. And I didn't know this till the end of the set. I didn't get called back, but I walked up on the set after the show had wrapped. Some dude had jumped some fences.
What?
During Stapleton, and he had found a rake and proceeded to smash the demons that were dancing around the Hulu set, which also included smashing all of the cameras, all the set.
With a rake?
With a rake.
You mean like the flimsy metal
It wasn't
leaf
like
rake?
a leaf rake for your yard. It was like a baseball rake that they rake the infield with.
Oh.
So this thing's, it's long. It's maybe two and a half feet long. Heavy steel. And at the end of it, it was all gnarled up. I mean, that dude was swinging it. He, apple boxes.
Yeah.
The audience may not know, but an apple box is like a heavy wooden box that you use on a set to prop something up.
Yeah.
Make something taller or whatever. If you're Tom Cruise and he's talking to a girl, he stands on an apple box.
We always have to take him around for you.
I do. I stand on at least, a foot and a half of apple boxes, which makes me about 5'6". Anyway, he was swinging that rake so hard, splintered an apple box, just destroyed it, which you could toss that thing off a building and wouldn't destroy it.
Why though?
The mushrooms told him to do that. Actually, he wasn't. I don't do drugs. Don't know much about drugs, but they were like, he was on the bad drugs. It's like they're like,
okay,
if he was on the mushrooms, he would have been, petting the cameras, talking to them, telling them how beautiful they are. He came in with a anger against the world.
Oh my gosh!
So the cops, the security guards, first off, see him doing this, and they're security guards, so they're like, check, bye, we'll call the police. The police come in. He takes off through the back door of like the beer tent. 6 cops proceed to tackle him, and it takes all 6 to get him down.
Oh,
I mean, this guy had that superhuman
He was
strength.
on something for sure.
Yeah, and the rumor was that the cops got him, arrested him, but not before he had bitten off one of their fingers.
Oh!
Yeah. Well, he bit off a finger, Daniel.
Oh my gosh.
So, but like, kudos to the crew. By the next morning, the gear had all been replaced. You would not have even known anything happened.
What do they always say? The show
must go on. There was they said $500,000 of damage that he did.
Oh man.
Because he smashed monitors, cameras, big expensive ENG lenses. Just in a moment of fury.
That hurts. That hurts to think about.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the wildest. I might have died if I'd been on set, but I wasn't. So that's what came up.
So you almost had a life and death experience there.
Yeah. Dude, that guy though, I mean, I guess he's in jail. Maybe he's out. Maybe he doesn't remember anything. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Absolutely.
All right, let's jump ahead. Meanwhile, in Texas.
While you've been listening to this podcast, lots of stuff's been going on in the Lone Star State. This is Meanwhile in Texas.
All right, Danny boy, what'd you find?
Okay, so obviously we got a lot going on in November. Shockingly, no, I don't want to say shockingly. That sounds horrible. Okay, so Longhorns are doing really well.
We're there. We're there,
I
baby.
can't believe I said shockingly.
Shockingly, we're
That's
doing well.
horrible. Come on.
Rewind to 2015. Yeah, maybe shockingly. We had some rough seasons.
No, but honestly, what's really cool is we've actually been seeing, this is my team, I consider, and you as well.
Of course.
So, obviously, we're ecstatic about seeing them do well.
Yeah.
It's really cool to go into November and hey, we're still in this, baby. We're bouncing around number 1, number 2. We're up there.
Yeah.
And so with all this football talk, I got into a conversation with somebody recently about high school football, talking about stadiums. And so I was thinking, well, what are some of the biggest high school stadiums that we've got?
Oh, man, it's got to have started to go crazy. Because
it's insane.
You drive through DFW, you see these things that would have, 30 years ago, these were college
at least
stadiums.
College. Maybe the smallest professional football team, but definitely college level.
College level.
And here's what's crazy. After I looked it up, the top 10 high school stadiums that I found, 9 of them are in Texas.
Of course
9 of them are in Texas. Of course they are. What the heck?
I don't know who the other one is, the one that's out there, but come on, Texas, we got to get them out.
Okay.
We need 10 of 10.
So check this out. This is what I found. I'm going to start at number 10, which is in Midland, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
It is the Astound Broadband Stadium. It is for Legacy and Midland High School.
Oh,
Both those two schools use that one. It's got a seating capacity of 18,000 people. Ooh. And then along with that, number 8 and number 9 are also 18,000 seats.
That's a lot
for Allen Eagle Stadium, which is in Allen, Texas.
And Allen's the one, maybe huge. I think that was one of the first mega stadiums that had got built in Texas.
I got to give props to Allen because here's the other thing. A lot of the ones on this list are for multiple high schools.
Oh.
And this is a key for me. Allen Eagle Stadium is for Allen High School. So not only is it a, $80-90 million stadium, it's for one high school.
That's crazy.
That is insane to me. So that
I'm looking up famous football players from Allen. Can you name any? I know they're dominant.
Oh, they're crazy dominant.
They're dominant.
I can't off the top of my head.
Let's see. NFL players. 13 players from Allen play currently in professional football. That's pretty awesome. It's a bunch of names. Oh, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah. 3 consecutive state championships before he won the Heisman Trophy for OU, and then still playing in the NFL. I knew there was some big dog from Allen. There you go.
There's always going to be big dogs from Allen.
Yeah,
they've got an amazing program.
Yep.
Huge high school. So they come in at number 9, and I guess they technically tie with number 9, number 8, whatever. The Buccaneer Stadium is Corpus Christi's.
Okay, cool.
18,000, but they've got 6 high schools that use one stadium.
Oh, so divide that number by 6.
Because, you can't really say that is always our home game because you're not always going to be playing there.
That's true. Yeah.
So anyways, that's kind of something I took into account here. We've also got Farrington Field in Fort Worth, Texas. 500 more seats, 18,500. But that's Fort Worth ISD. Fort Worth has 29 high schools in their ISD.
So it's different from like a one small community out.
I feel like it. I feel like when you're looking at biggest by seating capacity and, whatever, it's like you got to take into account how many people are going there from one school, two schools, whatever. Okay. 6th place, Alamo Stadium. Can you guess where that is?
Corpus Christi.
No. So
San
close.
Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas, 18,500. They've got 18 high schools that are sharing that one.
So the ISDs now are building these mega stadiums.
So here's what I've heard. An ISD can obviously lend support to a major stadium by major tax cuts because if the ISD is, saying, well, it's partially ours, then whoever can build it, and it lots of money saved on that whole thing.
Sure.
Let's see. We got Ratliff Stadium. You ever heard of that one?
Ratliff.
Why does it sound familiar, Chet? Odessa, Texas. Odessa and Permian High School. Which obviously Friday Night Lights.
Bigger than Midland. Bigger than Midland. That's something that Midland should take seriously.
19,302 seats.
I can't believe that they're getting this big.
They're getting huge. Let's see. Above that, Happy State Bank Stadium. What a name.
Yeah, tell me it's in Happy, Texas. I hope
It's
in Happy,
actually in Canyon, Texas, and they've
Canyon.
got 20,000 seats. It's not too many high schools. Canyon, Randall, and West Plains.
Okay.
We're all
Canyon's
sharing.
a cool town. I like Canyon.
Oh, Canyon's cool.
South of Amarillo.
And actually, where did I say it was?
Canyon, Texas.
Yeah, I did say it was Canyon.
Yeah.
Okay, Canyon, Texas. Okay, moving up. Now the top 3.
Okay. No, all of these have been in Texas.
They've
that
all
means
been in Texas so far.
The one outlier is in the top three, which makes me upset.
Me too. Okay, so Memorial Stadium, Mesquite, Texas, also 20,000.
The Mesquite Skeeters. Shout out to the Mesquite Skeeters.
Now they share it with Poteet, Horn, Mesquite, West, and North Mesquite High School.
Okay.
So they've got several that are,
Wait, there's a
sharing this one.
Poteet, Texas in Mesquite?
There's a Poteet High School
in Mesquite.
Yes.
You would think Poteet High School would be in Poteet, Texas.
It's in the ISD.
Okay.
It's in the ISD.
All right.
So it's all being shared in Mesquite. Okay. This next one, it comes in at number 2, but I don't know about it, Chet.
Okay.
Toyota Stadium.
Okay.
In Frisco, Texas.
No, this
Dallas FC
is
uses it.
This is
exactly.
a Major League Soccer stadium.
So there's 12 high schools that can say that this is theirs in Frisco, but it's the Dallas FC stadium.
Nah.
I say DQ on that one.
Yeah.
If you've got a professional soccer team,
right. Was it really built for you? No.
So the ISD lends support to that.
How did
but
12 high schools share a stadium? Like you get one home game a year?
see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. How do you say that this is the biggest high school stadium if it's that high school uses it once in the whole year?
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of rough. That's kind of rough.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
by that measure, you could also call AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, Jerry World, right?
Jerry World. That's a high school stadium.
80,000 to 100,000
Yep,
seats.
exactly. And for a couple weeks a year, it's a high school stadium.
It actually is. Hey, that's where we do state championships in Texas.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I'm going to cross out Toyota on that. So what does that mean then?
Don't tell me the number one is outside of Texas.
It's in Canton, Ohio. But hey, it's 22,400. So it's not that much larger.
Okay.
But here's where I'm going to give them major props. Mad props. McKinley High School. Only school using that stadium.
Dude, and it's that big.
It is
Is this
big.
a monster high school? It's got to be.
It is. Well, it is a monster high school.
And
they
the
win lots of championship games. It does get shared. Well, here's the funny thing. It's not a professional team that shares it with high schools. It's a high school that shares it with professionals.
Oh, it's actually.
It's so big and they use it. So there are some pro level games that happen there, but it's not. It's not on the norm.
Same Canton that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in.
Yes.
Got to be. Yeah. That's awesome.
So there you go. That's a top 10 right there.
Oh, I like that, dude. That's fun.
It's crazy. It's fun to look up.
We love football. The fact that we put that much money, because these things are also, you could also do a measure of like most expensive stadiums.
So I actually started to do that, but here's the problem. They're not all built at the same time. Like, for example, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium was built in like 1936. Sorry, I think it was 1936. They paid like $500,000 for it.
Oh, which then would have been insane.
Adjusting for inflation, that's like over 11 million. But they've also added on. So it's still tens of millions of dollars now for that stadium. But to build something like that nowadays, you'd probably spend $130 million.
That's true.
But then you look at like Allen Eagle Stadium. They came in number 9 with only 18,000 seats. That's easily an $80-90 million stadium.
Sounds ridiculous.
all of these start around probably 50-60 million and then go up from there.
Keep passing those bonds, people.
Golly, man. Let me tell you.
Oh, it's taxpayers pay for that. They pay in bonds.
Yeah, of course.
How about $100 million stadium? I like football.
Hey, that's why you need to go support your local high school, right?
That's
It's
right.
like you paid for that stadium, man.
Yeah, tickets should be free for every taxpayer.
Yeah, they
in
should.
That thing.
Yeah, they should.
Oh, man, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah.
Football season, we're close to the end. It always makes me cry
I
a
know.
little bit.
We're
At least
getting
for
there.
high school sports. Pro and college will continue for a little longer.
Well, it might be close to the end for y'all. And we're gonna see how it goes for
the
us.
Panther Pride.
Just saying. What?
So Georgetown has been doing good too, though. I mean,
Yeah.
playoff bound. I feel pretty good playoff bound.
Playoff. I think we'll do playoff bound. We'll be
they
good
go in the
but,
playoffs, who knows?
Yeah.
All right. I found a crazy story. This one's coming out of Ellis County, which is Waxahachie, Texas.
Yeah.
So, we're living in the era of T Swift.
Aren't we?
Everybody, we're in T Swift's world. We're just players in her world. This is her world. We're just watching from the sidelines. But, I think because of how much fame she's gotten, we're getting some T Swifty hate out there.
Ooh.
Have you noticed the backlash?
Like with
I'm
what?
starting to feel the backlash.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
Wait, you personally?
Well, maybe me.
Okay.
But definitely the world. Like, you're a girl dad. You're
yes.
self-proclaimed Swifty.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
She's all right.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
If she's listening, you're awesome. You're great.
So there was a man in Ellis County, Waxahachie. He attended a FFA auction and dinner.
Okay.
So FFA, Future Farmers of America. In that auction, live auction, I believe, was a guitar from the Eras Tour signed by none other than Taylor Swift.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I know, in the Waxahachie thing. So I don't know if you can buy these at the gift shop or how this ended up there, but it was there. And the bids keep going up. He gets up to $4,000 and he pays $4,000 for this Taylor Swift guitar. And you say, okay, it's for charity, whatever. Gets up there, accepts it, brings with him a hammer and proceeds to smash it on the spot just as a demonstration of anti-Taylor Swiftyism in front of everybody. He buys it to smash it just right in front of people. And guess what? The whole crowd goes nuts. What? Yes. And evidently, it was a statement that she came out and endorsed Kamala. And he was like, pop stars don't
Always
need to get into
political.
politics, right? And so he was making a statement that she needed to stay out of politics, anti-Swiftyism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the funny thing. He just leaves it with the FFA. They put it on eBay. It's a smashed Taylor Swift guitar. It goes for $2,500 more on eBay than he paid because it's like this. I think it's more famous now than any other Taylor Swift signed guitar because it's the protest guitar.
Oh, come on.
All the proceeds went back to FFA. So
wow.
They sold that guitar twice and made over $10,000. That's
and now
not so
someone,
bad.
whoever bought it, needs to sell individual pieces of it.
Yeah, the
They're
shredded
gonna make like $1 million.
Yeah. Oh man, you could have it just donate little piece, like make a whatever donation to Trump, and we'll send you a piece of the smashed guitar.
Oh my god.
Now this was all for the kids. It was all for the kids, but it was like a couple weeks after she officially endorsed Kamala, so those things have to be connected. It's on TikTok. You can watch this guy do it.
I don't know how I missed this.
Yeah. Because you're old and you're not on TikTok, Daniel. That's how you missed this.
It could be. Well, China's watching, man.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding. No kidding. So,
everybody, hey, we're watching. We're all watching.
I thought that was hysterical because I mean you have to hate someone pretty bad.
Yeah, you do.
To pay $4,000 just to smash their autograph.
I mean, come on, y'all. Let's love one another.
Love one another.
Let's just and keep politics out of everything.
Hey, man,
right?
We're just living. L-I-V-I-N.
Live life.
All right. Anyway, the fun stories. Okay, jump on to a new segment. What? New segment? All right, so last month we talked about the Come and Take It Canon.
Yep.
And some genius on social media goes, you should do a monthly Texas history note. And I thought, that's great. Let's go.
Okay.
So I looked up famous Texas events that happened in November, and I'm going to do this every month. We're going to talk about a little
we just
something.
added something
we just
to the
added.
podcast? That
we
just
did.
happened.
It just happened. This month in Texas history. Okay, so on this date, almost 500 years ago.
Whoa. Wait, this isn't Texas history.
This is Texas history.
Really?
It happened to be Spain at that point, but
Well,
it's still Texas. The first official historian arrived in our state. None other than Cabeza de Vaca. On November 6th, 1528, a Spaniard by the name of Cabeza de Vaca,
Which means
head of the cow, Cowhead.
Cowhead.
And we got to do another one about how the heck he got the nickname Cowhead. Landed on Texas shores. Now, it's a really wild story. And the reason I picked it is because somewhere along his journey, he celebrated the first Thanksgiving on Earth here in Texas.
Wait,
so
what?
people celebrate the Mayflower and all of that stuff. It's all fake, Daniel. The first Thanksgiving actually happened in Texas.
Wait, what?
Yep, I'm telling you this. All right, so let's do a little bit of refresher on Cabeza de Vaca.
All right.
He had set out from Spain with another conquistador. They had 5 ships, 300 men. They made it all the way across the Atlantic, but that is when tragedy hit. So they land in Florida. Starvation, they get attacked by Indians, shipwrecks happen, and it takes them quite a while. But in November, they reach Texas with only 90 men on a bunch of homemade rafts.
Whoa.
Like they had to melt down swords and pots in order to make the fixtures to even get to Texas.
Wow.
So they land somewhere around Galveston, but they named it the Isle of Misfortune. And within a few months, only 13 men remain, including Cabeza de Vaca. So these 13 Spaniards are starving to death. They're living on the coast. They split up. Groups go inland to try to find help or to get away. He stays back and he becomes a merchant. He picks up seashells and he trades with the Indians. And then also he becomes a healer, respected as a healer. So he says Catholic prayers over them, claims to have healed people. And so he starts getting respect, but he still wants to get off of this terrible godforsaken island. And so after many years, and we're talking like almost 10 years, he gets reunited with 3 other dudes, one of whom is a black slave named Estevancio. I said that wrong. Estevanico.
Okay.
Still pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So he and this group of 4 people start a journey. They're enslaved for 18 months. But this is really the only way by a group of Indians. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some of them like have to fight off cannibal Indians. I mean, this is an epic movie. They make it inland, and then they start a walk down the Guadalupe River into Mexico, back into Texas, for months and months and months. They eventually end up in Mexico City after walking barefoot for 2,400 miles. In July of 1536.
What?
They go from the coast, basically all the way to El Paso, all the way to the Baja Peninsula, all the way down over to Mexico City.
Ouch.
I know. Why he's considered the first Texas historian is he documents everything, and we now have his journal of how, and it contains some of the most descriptive explanations of how the Indians lived and all that. We wouldn't know anything without Cabeza de Vaca's journal. But him and his group of jolly travelers are
sure
like,
they were all very jolly.
Are on the brink of death. They make it to Big Spring,
Okay.
Texas, and find the water coming out of the spring. Now, if you've been to Big Spring, it's surrounded by endless desert. It's some rough country. Mm-hmm. They're barefoot. There's rattlesnakes, cactus, all the things. And the natives actually save their lives because they give them food, they lead them to the spring, they bring them back to life. And so as a thank you to the native tribes, they throw a festival of celebration and Thanksgiving.
Wow.
European settlers, native indigenous tribes having a celebration of thankfulness.
That's the first Thanksgiving.
That's the first Thanksgiving, Daniel. Boom, right here in Texas.
Do people know this?
Not until now.
Wow.
We have to spread the word.
Mind blown, man.
Mind blown. So that is this month in Texas history. Dun-dun-dun.
Da-da-da,
All right. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. We'll find something to talk about. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's crazy. Do we need to go up north and like tell people the truth? Like we should stand there, like stand on Plymouth Rock, and
we're
be
gonna
like,
pick
"You're
it.
wrong. You're wrong.
The truth is here. Cabeza de Vaca proves all y'all wrong. They're lying to you.
See, my theory with Cabeza de Vaca, cows are pretty dumb. So I think it was kind of like we're calling him dumbhead.
Hey, dumb, hey,
dumbhead.
Hey,
Hey, Cabeza de Vaca.
You know, little big fat Cabeza de Vaca is all you are. Hey, dude, he outlived basically 290 something of his closest friends. This is interesting. So he eventually finds Spanish people in Mexico City, goes on to be like a diplomat and a fighter for Indian rights.
Really?
Yeah. So he ends up down in South America. He gets all these positions, and it was still a time of great tension between the settlers and the natives.
Yeah.
And he becomes an advocate for not just, going and decimating the Indians, but like working with them and living with them. Because if it hadn't been for them, he'd have been dead.
Sure.
So actually getting enslaved helped him out quite a bit because it kept him alive.
Well, imagine that if they would have just all come to the New World to listen to people and learn more from them instead of being like, hey, you die because you're different.
Because you're different and we rule now.
Yeah.
Dude, supposedly the Mayans had these expansive libraries with all these books, knowledge, mathematics, astronomy, all this stuff.
People still think the Mayans in some ways could have been more, what's the word? Advanced, I guess, than even modern day.
Oh, really?
There's things that people think that the Mayans knew that we still don't fully understand.
Wow. I went down the rabbit hole of like who built the pyramids. Mm-hmm. That's some messed up stuff, man.
There's some crazy things
aliens,
there.
Man. Aliens. But because we still couldn't do it. With our modern technology, we couldn't
That's what's so strange.
So it's like we consider ourselves so advanced, but we literally could not build those.
Yeah, with all of the people in the world, you would think somebody nowadays would just go, oh, it's easy. You just do it like this.
Yeah. I mean, we got heavy equipment. We can move rocks. But no,
I've heard things as crazy as sound could have helped to build pyramids.
That's crazy.
That there's certain frequencies that could have been used to move things.
Dude, that's nuts.
I don't know. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but
like down in South America around the Incans, there's pretty good evidence that some of those rocks were melted into place.
Ooh. Wait, but how do you get something that hot that it melts?
And then form it? We can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Not on that size.
Truth is out there, man. It all starts with Cabeza de Vaca. You accept Cabeza de Vaca, and the rest of the truth will become evident.
There you go. The first Thanksgiving.
Here in Texas. Oh, man, we sound a lot like Joe Rogan. We're going down all these conspiracy theories.
How many people just said, all right,
we're done.
Unsubscribe, I'm out.
All right, we're going to get back to Texas here, I promise. So let's jump ahead. Texas Music Minute. All right, so this is when we bring y'all an artist that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. I found a dude, I think he's going to be the next big country singer in Texas.
Really?
All right. This kid's got it all. It's all lining up. I heard about him. He's only 21 years old. Okay. His name is Hudson Westbrook. I heard him at ACL Festival.
Okay.
I mean, when you're playing ACL Fest, even if you're in the beginning of the lineup,
you're doing something right.
Yeah. Big things coming. Worked a festival in Brownwood. He was playing on there, opened up for Midland. Hey. And everything is going well for this kid. So keep that name on your radar, Hudson Westbrook. Today we're going to listen to his song 5 to 9. But let me tell you a little more about him. Raised in Stephenville. We like Stephenville. Went to Texas Tech University. So, okay. That's fine. That's fine. We like Texas Tech. My grandpa graduated from Texas Tech. He says he was raised on everything from George Strait to gangster rap. And now he's making really good country music. He sounds like a couple guys to me, but I do think his song is good. And this one's clever. Dolly Parton sang about working 9 to 5. Well, what do you do with the other hours from 5 to 9?
He's the blue collar worker, man. Yeah. He's working the late shift.
The late shift. Well, no, that's what I first thought.
Is that not what it is?
No, wait till you hear it.
5 to 9, though.
I say good morning, darling. I won't be back till it's going back down. There's 12 miles of barbed wire and these holes need digging. Girl, if they did not hang around, my time here is only worth about 15 hours. $1 for my time with you. Let's make up for what we missed with what little day that's left. There's a lot of loving that's overdue. So put your high heels on and diamonds around your neck. You worry about being ready by 5, I'll worry about the rest. I'd give a paycheck to a bar in Dallas just to see you smile. I make my living from 9 to 5, but we're only living from 5 to 9.
Okay.
You get it? You get it? It's about the time you spend off the clock.
Off the clock.
With the lady and the people you love.
See,
so
I should have
pretty
thought
clever.
about that. Like,
Pretty clever.
That's a long late shift.
Yeah, that's it's a long. Well, 5 to 9. I mean, if you're just working for 4 hours a day.
Well, no, I'm thinking 5 to like 9 in the morning.
Well, that's what his is. 5 to 9.
Not working.
Yeah.
Like you're off the clock now.
So I thought it was pretty clever.
It is.
And I like his
it.
sound.
He's got it.
He sounds a little like Cleto from Flatland Cavalry, but his other songs kind of sound a little more like Parker McCollum. Mm-hmm. He's a young kid blowing up. So
nice.
Stay on the lookout for him. Hopefully this podcast will really launch him into the next stratosphere. That's what we do here. All right. Hey, let's thank our mid-podcast sponsor, the Collin County History Museum. So it is November, and Collin County wants to invite y'all out to all the Veterans Day events. They've partnered with Chestnut Square, and they're doing some big things to honor veterans this month. And, of course, we believe in that here at the Day Tripper. So there's going to be a lot of festivities happening at Chestnut Square. If you watch the McKinney episode, we went to both of them. It's this really cool collection of old houses and homes and buildings that's all on a square in the middle of the city.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so they're going to be doing stuff out there. There's also some exhibits to election history in Collin County inside of the museum. They've got old ballot boxes. That's a weird thing to think about, like when you actually had to go to the courthouse and like punch your ballot.
Uh-huh.
That would be, I mean, we're too late. Voter turnout nowadays would bottom through the floor if we had to physically go somewhere.
Think about the intimidation
one day
too, though. Like you're walking up in person in only a town that at the time's not as big to be like, hey, here's my vote.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, men who didn't want women to vote or certain races that didn't want other races to vote. The races, like all of that stuff. And I remember the stories of like, hey, people, paying voters, like a guy would be like, he'd just haul one truckload after truckload of people who were vote to him. He'd pay him $1 or $2. Or hey, you want a free Coke or free beer, free whiskey? Get in the van and we'll go vote.
Oh my gosh.
Can't do that stuff anymore. But so you can learn, I don't know if any of that happened in Collin County, but you can learn about election history at the museum, collincountyhistorymuseum.org. McKinney is fun. Check it out. All right. One of our favorite sections, questions from the back seat.
Are we there yet?
Hey, can you pass me the snacks?
When are we gonna stop? I gotta go.
Okay, here is some. I thought you might have some opinions on. You got opinions on a lot of these, but this one comes from Marika Crown. She says, best Central Texas Jeep trails.
Ooh.
So Daniel was a proud member of the Austin Jeep people for quite a while, a couple years, huh?
Yeah.
And you went out and did some of those like parades.
Oh, there's always Jeep things going on.
Jeep people are nuts. They're on another level.
Yeah, lots of Jeep people are. So there's lots of different places to go. But honestly, I think a fun place that everybody should go is just out towards Marble Falls.
Oh, yeah. That was at the top of my list. Hidden Falls.
Hidden Falls
Adventure Park in Marble Falls.
So that one's a cool place to go with a lot of people. There's lots of different levels. A lot of people are always concerned, like, I'm new to the Jeep thing. I want to get out there and use some 4-wheel drive, but I don't want to get stuck and be by myself. That's a good place to go because they will tell you, here's a trail that you can take that is for beginners. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah. Or here's something that's advanced. Don't go by yourself. Like,
oh yeah, you need a spotter
And honestly, you should never go by yourself. Anytime you're doing anything off-road, make sure people know where you are. Have water with you, maybe some food. Have a cell phone that's charged.
It's almost like hiking.
It is. It's a lot like hiking. You're basically saying, I'm going to take this massive vehicle and put it somewhere it shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's
It's not on a road,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, that's
So that was
That's a
one.
good one.
I found one. I've never been out here, but in Mason, Texas, there's a place called Catemcy, and that is like, I'm pretty sure they have all levels, but if you want the most extreme of the extreme, it's all red. It looks like Moab. That's where you've got like the one wheel that up on top of something, and then you got to kind of get sideways to go through a ravine. And then there's a place in Horseshoe Bay. You can only get into it if you're a Ford Bronco owner.
Oh.
It's called the Bronco Off Rodeo.
Okay.
It looks pretty awesome. You can either bring your Bronco or they'll rent you a Bronco, but they won't let Jeeps out
Jeeps.
there. Yep.
it's a divided community. I mean,
You
Jeeps look out for other Jeep people. But honestly, Jeep people are just friendly with everybody. But yeah, if you're like a Bronco person, I haven't seen many Bronco people stop and help Jeep people. I've seen a lot of Jeep people stop and help everybody.
Jeep people are super nice.
It might also just be because you don't see Jeeps broken down, but you see Broncos broken down. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Shots fired, maybe? Okay.
Okay. You mentioned some stuff that'll dovetail into this question. Bridget Petrusoncel, what should I bring in my backpack if I'm hiking Big Bend Park?
Everything we just said.
Everything.
Number one, always. I don't want to say what to have in your backpack. First of all, number one, always make sure people know that you're going and where you're going to be.
Totally.
It's foolish to go out by yourself, even if you have everything you need in your backpack. What if you run out of it? People need to know where you are.
Yep. What your plan is,
number
when
one.
you're expected to check back in. All of that.
Second, 100% second, water. And probably a little more than you think you need.
Absolutely.
And a full belly of it, too. Because
That's right.
before you get out, you better have been drinking water.
Yep. That's right.
Stay hydrated.
That's right. And one of those Freeman suits that recycles your water back into you.
It just keeps
from
recycling.
Dune. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, water, absolutely critical. And then something I don't hike without, Reese's Pieces.
So
I think that's my thing.
Something that you do. You've always done this.
You got to give yourself a little treat when you reach something. Because if you're going to hike to a vista, you're going to get there and you're going to hike back.
Yes.
And the vista is going to be a good payoff, but it's also nice to have a little treat waiting for you at the end, or some energy along the way. So like some food, something you love that you can use as a carrot to sort of,
True. Well, then
get you
plus,
along.
it doesn't matter like what skill level you are, or if you're bigger, thinner, any of these things, you're going to be using up a lot of energy.
Totally.
Right? So people don't really think about that a lot. They're like, oh, I'm going to bring health snacks. Like, yeah, but you're going to be working off tons of calories.
Tons.
So find little things like, candy. It's probably a good thing to have a high caloric, little tiny thing like a piece of Reese's Pieces or Snickers, something. Maybe something that doesn't melt might be better, though.
Hey, you know what? The little candy shell actually is pretty good.
Okay.
Actually, and when it melts,
you said Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces. Don't
Not
do
the
the
peanut butter
chocolate.
cups.
No.
Okay.
Don't. That's
True,
a mess.
true,
That's
true.
a mess. The pieces. So, here's what I don't want anyone to do though: is overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Like hiking it's a bit of an adventure. You can prepare and bring all kinds of stuff in your first aid kit, but if you're going out for sort of a light hike, don't make it more complicated than it is and go spend, $1,000 at REI because you think you need to. Like, hiking's pretty simple.
You're going to create your own
Just
barrier
walk.
to entry.
Yeah.
And make it way too hard. You're going to end up with
way
a
too hard.
30-pound, 40-pound backpack to go hike for an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
come on now.
No. Take your little Lululemon side thing,
Yeah.
whatever, something small. Just make sure you have water. If nothing else, have water, have a little snack, have a cell phone, make sure people know where you're going.
Boom. That's it.
Yep. That's it.
Yep. Get out there and enjoy God's green earth.
Just do it.
All right. Last question. John Maloof. What's better, stacked or rolled enchiladas?
That's a tough one, man.
That's a tough one.
So, yeah, no, you go.
Well, I would have said no doubt rolled.
By default.
That's just what we're used to.
But man, that's Tex-Mex.
Dude, I know.
When you get the more authentic Mexican food, that's whenever you get the stack.
So-
But then you have like the mole,
Oh, that's
right?
Yeah.
So that's a different flavor.
Yeah. You could put mole on rolled enchiladas though too. But here's the reason I might not say rolled. We had some stacked enchiladas recently in Fort Stockton that changed my life.
Did those change your life?
No, I mean,
Really?
It was like the best enchiladas I've had in a
Those were so
long
good.
time.
So
we went to a
good.
place called Mi Casita in Fort Stockton. It was chicken verde enchiladas, had a fried egg on top, and they were so good.
Amazing.
So good. So go there. That place has been around like 30 years, so you know they're doing it right. It's in a little old house sort of thing.
Yep.
But darn, those were good. So I think if I'm comparing those enchiladas to other enchiladas, I mean, what's the benefit? Is there a benefit? It's just same stuff, different presentation, you know?
Kind of.
Like,
Yes, but I don't think I've ever had stacked enchiladas with like queso on them.
No.
Or, some sort of heavy cheese.
No.
Like you don't get
it's almost always an enchilada sauce.
it really
Yeah,
is.
or a
So
mole.
I typically have only had stacked and for people that don't know what this is, it's basically what it sounds like. When you get a rolled Tex-Mex enchilada, it's going to have something inside like cheese, chicken, beef.
Yeah.
And it's going to be rolled up.
Rolled tortilla.
And then it always has something on top of it.
Yep.
Some sort of queso or salsa, something. But yeah, the stacked, it's like they just stack them like pancakes.
Yep.
And they'll have like in between layers.
Chicken, cheese, beans,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it's literally
almost
stacked.
it's a
so it's circular.
deconstructed.
Yeah.
Enchiladas deconstructed.
But like it tastes, it's a matter of the sauce and the ingredients, not so much the presentation.
Presentation is not going to matter to me on that because as long as it tastes the same.
All go in the same place.
Yeah. But the thing is, they don't typically taste the same because they're going to make them differently most of the time.
Yeah. It's a toss up.
It is a toss up.
The world will never know. We're just going to
Yeah.
leave that as a mystery, sort of like who built the pyramids.
Try them both. I can tell you, wherever you go get your typical enchiladas, they might not have stacked. You're
That's
going to have
true.
to find a place that's a little older.
Yeah. And
has
it's in
a-
West Texas. West Texas, you
Yes.
see it a little more frequently.
The West Texas or places that have more of the authentic, they lean more towards Mexican food than Tex-Mex.
food. Yeah. Chewy's used to have some, but like their menu has gotten super abbreviated.
It's a very commercialized.
Yeah, now
place
that, and I still love Chewy's.
Oh, it's great, man.
Creamy J.
Don't be hating
Hammer
on
that Creamy
Chewy's.
J.
I love Chewy's.
But the menu's probably a third of what it used to be.
Sure.
Because whatever, commercializing.
Yep.
All right. Now we move along. Fan rants and musings.
Hey, Day Tripper, I got a bone to pick with you. Oh my goodness, it's the Day Tripper. We love your show.
This is fun because we just let you guys write in stuff, and please write in stuff. Podcast@thedaytripper.com or send us an email, contact@thedaytripper.com. We got lots of things. So this comes from David Zimmerman. A couple months ago, we talked about yellow cream gravy. Do you remember this? A fan had written in and was like,
Yes.
I can't find the old school yellow cream gravy
threw
that
me
I
for a
used to.
loop, 'cause I was like,
like,
what?
well, like cream gravy is what, grayish white.
Yes.
But we have had it on the road where it's like yellow. And it's not like butter
did
yellow.
he ask what made it yellow?
Yeah, there's like what I can't find it. Where can I find it?
Yeah.
And then we got on the discussion of what made it yellow.
Yeah.
And my thought was just butter.
Butter.
But David Zimmerman knows more. So
Okay.
buckle up. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Said, hey, Chet and the gang, recently on a trip to Garner, I was binging the Day Tripper podcast, and someone asked a question about yellowish gravy on chicken fried steak. I've been cooking in restaurants for over 50 years, and I remember the gravy did actually have a yellowish tinge to it. Those days, it was usually called chicken gravy, and the yellow came from chicken stock, a chicken base that we
makes so much
added
sense.
to get better flavor. I was like, boom, obviously.
so much sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
David solved the mystery from us. He said a little less milk, a little more water. Even if you were making giblet gravy during Thanksgiving, you would add a food coloring called egg shade. He said,
what?
he goes, now times have changed. We're moving toward natural ingredients. The Betty Crocker days were full of very interesting colors and ways. He's calling, like super processed food, which we're still in the super processed
we're
food
there.
era. But maybe you have other options.
Yeah.
So thought y'all liked that little tidbit. Thanks for promoting Texas Via Con Dios. It's like, boom.
Hey,
Thank you, David.
I was getting scared. I thought he was about to let us have it. Somehow.
No, we got another one where they're going to let us have it.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Okay.
Here we go. I'll go ahead and jump to it. Ruth Bowers. She left this on our Austin's 40 Acres episode.
Okay.
So you guys know we've been releasing new episodes this last month.
We
in
just
October.
dropped 4 of them, just like
Yep.
that.
Boom.
Bam.
And it was just that easy.
It was so easy. Didn't take any time.
So she says this. Ruth did not think they were good.
Okay.
Ruth says, I watched the UT episode. This was disappointing. I graduated from UT in the 80s and was looking forward to reminiscing and seeing the changes, but instead was met with a couple of restaurants, a couple museums, a park, ? This was not interesting.
Wait, you mean, hold on, Austin's changed in 35, 40 years?
I mean, that's what she said. But she's disappointed that we featured restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Sorry, Ruth.
Sorry we had to eat, Ruth.
I know. And a park. I mean, come on.
Who goes to parks?
So, Ruth, I'm sorry to disappoint. I think you were looking for a totally different show.
I don't know what we would show if not
I mean, she wanted like a look at the new biology building. You know, that's what I think Ruth wanted.
Okay.
Which is not
she
our
wanted
show.
to actual show UT campus.
That's what I would think.
Like,
yeah.
This is Professor so-and-so and he teaches chemistry.
Chemistry. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what we do.
That's not our show.
We wanted to show people only the things that they can do in UT campus, unlike some campuses, is very open.
Yeah, tons
with
of
a lot of places to eat and things to do for the public.
Absolutely. Ruth was mistaken. She was looking for a different show.
Okay.
And I would watch a show about the history of UT campus changing, but not our show.
It's not our show.
Sorry, Ruth. Move on. Country Reporter, maybe. Something. Hey, shout out to JB Sauceda. He's holding down the fort at Country Reporter.
He's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. All right, here we go. Another YouTube comment from NMR6988. Person who doesn't change their handle. You know, whatever got assigned. They're like, that's good for me. What a great video. I learned so much. I laughed too. These should be required viewing in all of our schools and homeschools.
Hey.
Thank you.
Well, it's not required, but 4th grade and 7th grade teachers use it quite a bit.
Yeah, they do.
We get shout outs all the time from them.
That is true.
That's why we have to fact check everything.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that the kids are learning.
Yeah.
We're not quite Thanksgiving isn't.
Where was the first Thanksgiving? A generation fails history class because of the day tripper.
Excuse me, miss. Actually, it was in Texas.
And I don't believe any of the stuff you're telling me about the pyramids anymore. They were clearly made by sound because Daniel said so. All right, that wraps up the Day Tripper podcast for November. Thank you to Don Hewlett Chevrolet and the Collin County History Museum. Please join us next time. We'll be back next month talking more Texas. In the meantime, like, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you to Alex Fort, our producer, who is also on Team No Fried Turkey or Team Ham. Both of those simultaneously. Sorry, Daniel, but you can tell everybody bye.
Fried turkey for life, baby.
Bye con Dios, amigos. We're going to have a taste test, a blind taste test.
I'm telling you, man, if it's moist.
Oh.